I think that this is streaming. I don't know for sure. Let me check my phone. Welcome everybody. Come on in. This is going to be a one of these fun videos, okay? A lot of you, again, you love my sci-fi videos and everything, so, okay. Yes, I am live. Let me put in the chat. Hey, Guilty Angel. Let's see. Should I write this in the chat? Okay, let me see. Please get those likes up. Yes, yes. Yes, about Iran. Thank you. Okay, so this video, I want to talk about some conspiracy theories. Now, for those coming in, I think I'm going to upload this also as my main video because that upsets someone. My live videos don't barely get any views, and this is a fun, very important video for me. So you might see this video twice on my main video section and here. So if you're like, Cerebral, I just saw you talk about this. Yes, because I'm going to probably re-upload this video. Okay, so oh, Guilty Angel, you said your mom watched the video and loved it. Oh, tell her I said hello. I thought that it was very important for women to know what's going on up over there. So let's get started. Welcome, everybody. I want to talk about conspiracy theories. I have a few conspiracy theories, and I mean, some people have thought what I have thought before. And one thing I thought some people thought was out there, such as how do you know? How do you know there aren't people already on Mars? How do you not know maybe missing people have been kidnapped to terraform Mars and make it breathable like Earth? We don't know for sure. I'm not saying that's alleged. I don't know if it's true. It's just a possibility. People have talked about, remember Soylent Green? My mom put me onto that movie when I was little. Let me know if you can hear me too. If there are any volume issues, make sure you let me know. But yeah, my mom put me onto Soylent Green when I was little. I grew up watching a lot of older stuff. So people are saying McDonald's, Burger King, all these places. People really think that is human meat in in the food because I had said before, millions of people pass away every day, every year, and you don't see people being buried all over the place. Even though there is a such thing as cremation, but I don't know. Like, I only eat McDonald's when I'm really, really desperate. I don't eat McDonald's like I used to. When I was younger, yes, but as I got older, I noticed how the fries wouldn't break down. And one time I bit into a chicken nugget and it was nothing in it. Like it was just, I said, oh, hell no. Like, only when I'm really desperate, I will eat McDonald's. The fish sandwich is kind of good, but it's one of those things I'm like, F it. I know this might not be real food, but I'm going to get it because. So let's get into it. So I have Mr. Universe. Hello. Guadalupe. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Guilty Angel. Twilla. Shasta. Shasta. Sorry. Okay, so I'm going to just read these conspiracy theories. These are comments that I saw other people, what they believe in. As a matter of fact, let me make this picture just a little bit smaller. I'm going to keep this up here. Let's do this. Let's get into these conspiracy theories. Let's go with the first one. And I'm going to give my honest opinion. If I think it's some bull crap, I'm going to tell you the truth. But I have an open mind. And one thing I have learned is that anything is possible, and things that you think can't possibly be real, sometimes it is. Okay. Okay. Let's see what they're saying. Time is not the real time. Well, they say time really doesn't exist. I mean, think about it. Right now in Texas, it's about 2 or 3 hours, I believe, behind the East Coast. And in California, it's 3 hours behind the East Coast. Okay. So it's 7 o'clock in California, but it's 10 o'clock on the East Coast. I think science proved that with the planets. On one planet, one day could be 48 hours versus hours that's 24 hours. Remember Einstein and the theory of relativity, that when you're in space, light stretches and time changes. So I always said that there's we think it's the year 2026. It's not the year 2026. It's much older. Human beings are thousands of years old. Actually, let's just leave it at thousands. Human beings are thousands of years old, but yet it's supposedly the year 2026. Come on now. That's not the real year. I always have this interest in the land before time, before humans started writing stuff down and all of that. I mean, when you look at Egypt and you see those pyramids, I'm sorry, I need proof that human beings built that, because those stones are so heavy that many men cannot even lift it. And there is no evidence, nothing left behind, unless the government has it locked up underground or something, of how they were able to do that. Plus, it lines up with the star system Orion or something. So there's a lot of mystery on Earth. And um, I mean, time is real, but it's not real too. I don't know how to really describe it. You know, I'm thinking of, like, you have cat years, you have dog years, and then you have human years. We do age. That's a fact. Time might not exist to you, but you do age. You do get white hairs. You do start to break down the body and everything like that as time goes on. So, Mr. Universe says time is relative. Yeah, but we live in a world where time exists. If your boss says, I need this done on a deadline, you look at the clock and you know what time you have to get something done. And we don't have as much time as we want as human beings. We don't get to live forever. Time speeds up. I'm telling you, it seems like time has sped up, and a lot of people are saying this, like, the day just goes by so damn quickly, even years. There have been times when I have literally thought about something or saw something back in the media that I could have sworn to God it had to be 3 years ago. And it turns out it was 7 to 8 years ago. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, are you serious? It's been that long? It's been that long. I remember things like it was yesterday. I literally remember some things like it was yesterday to me. And it was long ago. It's crazy. But my mom told me that would happen. She told me when I was younger, she says, as you get older, time is going to speed up. It's going to just go by so quickly. And she's not lying about it at all. At all. I just saw somebody on TikTok who I used to watch right here on YouTube. And the man looked like he aged damn near 30 years. I said, oh, my God. What the fuck? What? It ain't been that long. But I said, damn, well, it has been about maybe 17 years since I saw him on here. But I said, damn, though, he aged so. Well, let's go. I don't know. It's Lord, you know? So, okay, let's see the next comment. It says, War was created to erase parts of history and be rewritten by the victors, since it's always his story, history, his story. Someone put me on to that like over 20 years ago. History is his story. I said, yeah, anybody can say anything with a piece of pen and paper, especially when human beings barely kept an account of anything. You can say anything. It's not like there were cameras around. I think a lot of people were butt naked. I said this the other day that when I see these movies of the Victorian era and other things and they're dressed up, I said, I don't fully believe this, because human beings didn't discover the cotton gin until like maybe the 1700s or 1800s. And I know that thousands of years ago they claimed that the hunter gatherers were wearing furs and stuff like that. But I'm like, how long did it take them from wearing furs to advance to knowing how to stitch something? And what did they stitch it with? I do know about people in the Amazon who wear leaves and stitching the leaves and all that other stuff, but it's just something in my spirit says that a lot of people did not have clothes like what you think. They just didn't have clothes. Dang, yeah, the man I'm talking about, I'm not going to say his name. I used to watch him, and I mean, he looks like old now, and I'm like, I just couldn't believe what I saw. I just couldn't believe it. It didn't seem that long ago. So, um, and there ain't nothing wrong with getting older. I just was in shock. I was in shock for what I saw, like that happens sometimes. You might not see someone in a while. Time has gone by, and it's like, wow, I can't recognize you. So that doesn't happen to everybody, but it does for some people. Um, but yeah, so it says that men create war because they want to control the narrative and erase parts of history and rewrite everything. Leave a heart if you believe that. I do believe that parts of history has completely been fabricated or added on to. I mean, it's not like most humans were writing stuff down. Even right now, there will be history books about this time. And the average person is not keeping receipts. I always say I feel real stupid sometimes because I didn't keep receipts of certain stuff that I saw on the internet when it comes to the so-called gender war. Black women did not start a gender war. Black men got their ass on the internet and were like KKK members back in 2008, 2009. But because no one kept a receipt, people believe this is some new event. It's not. Black women simply have responded finally to the shit, and they think this is some gender war just popped out the blue. No, black men were bashing black women since 2009, worse than what you see today. That's why I got on YouTube during that time. I do have receipts of someone, I'm not going to say their name, who likes to pretend like he cares about black women while his whole platform was like a KKK member. And I'm not going to go into detail. I have receipts on someone, but I keep that to myself. While these dumb black women send him literally $100 donations while he literally hates you, and I have all the evidence. But I keep that to myself. It's amazing though. I have noticed the conspiracy that men on social media seem to do better than us women. They rather listen to them while they steal some of our talking points, that things that I've been saying and other women, but we get cursed out and shamed, and they get to get big. That's one thing I've noticed in the gossip sector, celebrity news, anything. It's always men streaming who make the millions and just get all these fans, and they don't even like women, half of them. But the women who go hard for the women and talk for y'all and talk about real stuff and be saying stuff, they don't want to hear it from the women. They praise in Charleston White. I've been said some of the stuff he said, but they don't want to hear it from women. It's interesting to me. It's just a fact. YouTube changed. It had everything. Yeah, baby, I've been on here before they did monetization, all that stuff, baby. The olden times of YouTube when we just got on here just to talk and talk about whatever we wanted, and you know, it was something. People believe that they're seeing new things. Like, they think the red pill men are new. They're not. They're just different versions of them. They've been on here worse than ever since 2009. That I remember, 2008, 2009. So, I mean, and other stuff. So, and it was good and it's still good, but people can rewrite things. When I used to see things in comment sections, I wish I would have kept receipts so that I could prove that, no, I have the receipts on what they were saying to y'all asses. I remember though, and I talk about it, but we don't, especially in the Black community, we don't keep accounts of history, and that is a big flaw, which is why we keep talking about the same shit every 50 years. Because no one is remembering or keeping receipts about certain things that's been talked about when it comes to dating. Saying the same thing over and over. He ain't getting married to us over and over. That was like 50 years ago. Very true, Guilty Angel. Very, very true. You would be surprised what goes on sometimes. Certain topics that's considered too sensitive when it comes to people in high positions in society, they will not support that video. I ain't gonna go into detail. So, because that's all I'm gonna say. Free speech is being suppressed a lot more on various platforms. So, do I think that history has been rewritten so that the people who won the war can rewrite history? I believe some of that. I know some things have been left out from history to paint an image and a picture that's not completely accurate. You know? Let's see. Antarctica. The entire earth protects it. And we can't even fly over Antarctica because there is land beyond Antarctica. I have a whole video on that. I believe it. The land beyond the poles. The land beyond the poles. I don't know though. I would think that if human beings are over there and have evolved for thousands of years beyond the ice wall, wouldn't they have? Then again, they say it's not just ice there. They say that it's actually land, grass, trees, people, maybe aliens. You would think that with so much time that has gone by, thousands of years, they would have some spaceships or something to be able to fly from over there to come up over here and say, look, y'all, this is us. We're over there. We're in the Arctic. I don't know. Something is up, because the fact that so many countries have a treaty together that you cannot go past a certain point of the Arctic, that let you know something's up. What the hell is over there is the question that they're trying to so-called protect. What could be over there? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat, what do you think is being hidden that's in Antarctica? What if it's like off the movies and there's a giant mothership that crashed that's frozen up over there and they don't want nobody to see it? Leave a heart if you believe that there are more continents on the planet than what we're being told. When it comes to flat earth, I never understood why it would be a cover up if the earth was flat. I don't understand the significance of why does it matter if the earth is flat? Would it matter? What if it is? How does that affect us? And if it's flat, what does that really mean to you? Like, I need more detail. Some people think, well, how could it be flat? The water isn't falling off, you know. Then they say, oh, no, no, it's a firmament. Then they say, no, it's more continents. It's flat and there's more land that you don't know about. It might be true, but the average human being will never know because we can't fly planes and we don't have the technology by ourselves to be able to go and see. Only the government does. But I do know they're hiding something. What if that is, I don't know for sure. Let's see. Okay. Let's go to the next thing someone's saying. Let's see these conspiracy theories. Oxygen is slightly poisonous to us, limiting our lifespan to what it is now. So she's saying the reason that we don't live long is because oxygen is killing us, actually, slowly. You know what? I had never heard this before in my life. And I said, you know what? That could possibly really be true. Back in the olden days, the atmosphere, the thousands of years ago, everything was bigger. Everything was bigger. The animals were bigger. The plants were bigger. The atmosphere was just completely different. Even now, things grow bigger near the equator as I speak. I mean, look at the spiders in Australia. Even though I don't think Australia is near the equator, but where hot, humid climates and stuff, a lot of stuff grows big. The Amazon rainforest, God knows what's in there. So, do you believe that the reason we don't live long is because of oxygen being slightly poisonous to us and we don't even know it? Okay. Again, things were different long ago. The atmosphere and the lifespans were different. And I know people who are Christian will say, God said that I'm going to limit you to 120 years max to live, you know? So, and most human beings don't even make it to that age on average these days. So, yes, the spiders in Australia are humongous. I would never live there. Absolutely not. Okay, let's see. Tartaria was real. I've heard of that. Tartaria, I hope I'm saying that right. That is allegedly on the old maps, very old maps. I'm telling you, y'all, there's nothing like the old stuff. If you're a collector, baby, get the old books. A lot of the information was more authentic of what people used to see, the old maps. So allegedly, Tartaria was on the map. Is no one had ever heard of it. Nobody knows where it is, and they don't know if it really existed. There's a lot of stuff that you will see that's no longer on maps that you see today. So I think it's possible. Leave a heart if you believe Atlantis existed. Atlantis, the mythical, supposedly ancient city that went into the ocean. How did it go into the ocean? I don't know, but it went into the ocean overnight. Allegedly had all this technology, a great big society. Something went wrong and they went in the ocean. They claim the Bermuda Triangle has all that, the compasses going crazy and the magnetic field is off in that area because people believe that Atlantis was powered by crystals and some sort of energy source, and when it went into the sea it went around the Bermuda Triangle area, and that there are wormholes and time portals in that area. I believe the aliens are from the ocean. I don't know, honestly. I think it's all types of stuff we haven't seen. I think the government, yeah, they know, but they know it would scare people too much, and they don't want to let the truth out, especially if they come into contact with something that's more advanced that could destroy us or have superpowers or something, and they don't know how to defeat it if they were to try to take us over or something like that. So, let's see. They say we are advanced humans. I sat back and thought a few months ago that even though I said in this video we're thousands of years old, I have questioned that. I have questioned that because where we are today socially is so regressive and behind that I'm finding it hard to believe that we had all this technology back. Like something, if we did something happen and we're nowhere near that again. When I look at the world and how you have men and women who don't even know what a yeast infection is, that tells me all I need to know. We're not we're not as advanced as we should be. We don't even understand the human body, and doctors don't even understand a woman's vagina. They still don't. They don't even understand period problems still. They Google things to figure. Well, no. We're not an advanced species. I'm sorry. Somewhat compared to where we were with the technology you see in Asia and over here. But socially, no, no, no. The fact that human beings still get shocked at someone's being a different race and color than them, that's not an advanced society. It's just not. I don't agree. We don't even know our own planet from what we know of. Allegedly, only 1 to 5% of the ocean being discovered. That's not advancement. We don't have the cure for cancer and other problems. We're not there yet. If I were president, I would pay scientists a lot of money to get us there very quickly in your lifetime. If I were in charge, when you go to the doctor, it would be mandatory that you have an MRI. Everyone gets one. They are practicing physicians. Remember that. I think the old world had different civilizations that was advanced in certain things. Somewhat, some of them, but some of the stuff they believed in was absolutely ridiculous. But it was back in the day, they didn't know no better, some of them. Okay. Human meat is in fast food. I just said that the whole Soylent Green. Leave a heart if you believe that fast food is serving us human meat. We definitely know something is up because a lot of the meat in the supermarkets is not breaking down. It doesn't have blood. It has no taste. The texture is not normal. So I don't know what the hell they're doing. I don't know if it's all lab meat. I don't know what the hell. I don't know though, because some of it can taste like chicken sometimes. And then sometimes it has no taste at all. It doesn't have any taste. It has no blood. It falls apart in your hands. Even I've even bought something they claim was organic meat, and I don't believe it was either. I think they're lying. Some of them are, but I still buy it just to be safe. Like they say, if you can get to a farmer, go to a farmer and buy a half a cow, and it'll last you the whole about the whole year. It is about $2,000 though, but you'll have a lot of food and it's real. Okay, let's see. The next thing. Supposedly, the world ended in 2012. Oh, like the Mayans said, and we are now in hell. I have a theory on that, but I'm not going to publicly say it until I'm ready to on that. What I will say is that I don't believe we all died in 2012. People keep saying this. We died in 2012. No, I'm sorry. I know they made the movie 2012 and the Mayans claimed that the pole shift was going to come in 2012. The pole shift did not come. And I mean, if we did die, usually you won't have a memory of it. It's like a blink of an eye when people pass away, just like you don't remember being born. But no, I don't believe we all died in 2012. I don't believe we died in 2012. I just don't. If y'all do, let me know why you believe that we all passed away in 2012. The Miami Mall. That's when the aliens supposedly showed up in the ship and people saw the spaceship. With AI, it's hard to believe some of the things you see sometimes because people make up stuff. We don't know for sure if it's real. You know, we don't know for sure if it's real, the things that we see people posting sometimes online. I mean, some stuff you can tell is AI, especially when people don't give a source. They just post stuff on online and they don't have any source of it being true. Certain stuff that they say, like on Instagram. Okay, so I believe that other species exist. I don't believe human beings were the only thing made in creation. I don't. Um, some people don't believe that galaxies exist in other planets and that it's just Earth. I don't believe that. I just don't. I don't. I believe there are things here on Earth. It doesn't have to be from outer space. It doesn't have to be from outer space. The woman on the plane, it was dismissed way too quickly. Even her voice didn't match up. That was that woman that said, "That motherfucker is not human," when she was on the plane, and then they kicked her off the plane. Maybe he wasn't human, but other people don't know. They didn't see what she saw. They claimed that she was high on something. So that's just one of those things where we don't know. The majority of your personality is the product of the environment you grew up in, not who you want to be. That's why so many people have mental health problems in the last 25 years. The majority of your personality is a result of the environment you grew up in, of course. Somewhat, somewhat. I think some people, you are who you are since you've been a child. My personality really hasn't changed. But then again, there were things in my childhood that did cause my personality to be a certain way. It is what it is, though. It's not like I can change it. I am who I am. I like who I am. I know who I am. And most people aren't one way. There are other sides to you. There's different parts. Sometimes people can bring out different parts of your personality. Like if you're a boring person, then we might not have interesting conversations and you might think I'm boring. But when I'm around someone that actually likes to talk about things interesting, we have conversations and they see the other side of me that you didn't get to see because you were boring. So you don't know how I can be because you don't ignite my mind or bring out that side where you don't get to see all of me. Um, I've pretty much had the same personality since I've been in middle school. At large, yes. But I had things happen. in my life that made my personality what it is. I've been I'm a Libra. I'm very observant. I am who I am. There were some things that probably made my personality a certain way. People, people, how they treated me and positions I was put in. But I have different sides to me. I'm not one way. I'm not one way. I don't have one type of personality. I'm into different stuff. I like different stuff. I like different music. I like going different places. I like dressing in different styles. Um, you know, yeah, pretty much. Let's see. Let's go to the next topic. The entire world is Area 51. We are the experiment. We are the experiment, and the building they are guarding with guns at Groom Lake is the only way out. Let me get my phone real quick. I need to see Groom Lake. Have any of you ever heard of Groom Lake? Let me see real quick. Groom Lake. Groom Lake is a dry salt flat in Nevada, best known as the location of Area 51, situated 25 miles south of Rachel, Nevada. It's 3.7 miles long. It has a base, technology and development, and intelligence programs. Groom Lake is a dry salt flat in Nevada. Okay. The entire world is Area 51 and we are the experiments. I believe some of that. It's a lot that I can't say yet because I'm working on something and I cannot reveal certain things. I will tell you that I definitely believe what is being said right here. Area 51 is not just in Nevada. They're experimenting on you as a human being. Then the question becomes, who is they? If I told you what I know to be true, some of you wouldn't accept it, but it's the truth. I can't say it right now. I will in the future. I know some things I cannot tell you right now. But yes, the I will say this, yes, human beings are an experiment. You're an experiment. They told you a little bit of it in the Matrix, but not the full thing. I'm going to share it, but I'm working on that. But y'all not going to be ready for it, some of y'all. Some people have somewhat said it, but they don't know all of it the way I've been able to crack the code on some stuff. So, but I don't think you should, it's not hard to believe that human beings are an experiment that went wrong for something. A lot of religious things is involved in this. I'll tell you, I'm working on it. You're going to find out. I'll tell you, religion is heavily tied into this experiment that didn't go right. Groom Lake is the only way out. I don't understand that part though, because Groom Lake is Nevada. But everything that you see, like, look at, how do you think they know what medicines cure stuff and what will work? You have to experiment on somebody to know this. And you ever notice how half of the medicine they promote on TV always has all these side effects that you think, why the fuck would I take this? take this medicine. You probably might want to die in your life. You'll have this, migraines, ticks, fatigue, a fever, weight loss, aggravation, like 25 things. I'm like, and you're telling us to take this? What? But believe me, they practice on the rats first, the white mice, and then the kidnapped people are being used to find out what medicines work. Personally, I think they should be doing this to men in prison who have done the worst crimes. You can experiment on them, I don't care about that. Who have done the worst crimes of humanity and towards children. Go ahead and find out what medicines work and shit on them, in my opinion. But so yeah, every time you hear about a new discovery and stuff, it didn't happen overnight. They had to study it for a long time to see if there's any side effects, if it changes the DNA, does it cause really bad problems? You remember when that homeless man bit that another man's face off, and then they claimed he was high on bath salts, and then you never heard about it again. Went up to the man like a wild animal, like something off of Resident Evil, released into the planet, and just jumped on that man and bit his face off. And they want me to believe he ate bath salts and that's what made him eat that man's face off. No, he was a kidnapped homeless man that they did experiments on, like on Resident Evil, and then released him to the public to see what would happen. And don't believe that the government is so concerned about the declining population. They want the population to decline. They're just pretending to be so concerned on the TV. Oh, it's a problem. They don't want no girl. You know damn well they don't want the population to be too high. They can't feed everybody. So they get on TV lying like it's a problem. Meanwhile, they're actually doing everything to help this shit decline. And they're happy that the populations are declining because the earth is too crowded. That's why they're trying to get on Mars. There's not enough resources or food for everybody, which is why they've turned to putting human meat and shit and feeding you all types of shit because they can't keep up with feeding everybody. I mean, it would make sense, to be honest with you. I know it's terrible, but it is the truth. So all this, we need women to reproduce, the populate. They don't care about that. That's why they make life so fucking hard for people because they want us to die. In my opinion, most of them. That's not true, but they do believe. And I'm not saying everybody feels this way in government, but there is a significant, it's always 50-50. There is a 50% amount who don't want the population to grow. It's not enough land and resources. And then they want to get on TV acting all sad and concerned. Oh, the population. Meanwhile, they laughing behind the scenes like, thank God, thank you, Jesus, because we can't keep up with all these people. The world is abundant and food is free. I'm a meat eater. There ain't enough meat on here for us. Yeah, you can grow fruits and vegetables. I don't want to eat fruits and vegetables all damn day. I want some steak. I mean, and not only that, but you get deficiencies not having meat. I remember that lady a few months ago. She ate a raw food diet. She's dead now. She would look like a skeleton because she refused to eat meat. I also think that not eating meat makes men have a small penis. They need to have meat. Men have to have meat and iron. They have to eat meat so that their penises are healthy and big and can grow. You deprive yourself of meat and just eat fruits and vegetables, your penis gonna be little and it ain't gonna grow. You don't have enough nutrients to grow it. I'm sorry to tell you that. It's the truth. And I've done research on that, and there's some truth to that. If you were my man, you would be eating meat. I ain't gonna say too much. Okay, you gonna eat meat, all right? So, I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people who are vegetarian, especially Indians, because most of them are, they've mastered spices and how to make things taste really, really good. The chickpeas with the spices and the curries and all that stuff. I've even had tofu that was delicious. Ooh, it was good. But do I want to eat that every day? No, I need some meat. And I can't, if I had a son, my son has to have meat because he's not going to be deprived of his nutrients, and then he can't grow a decent sized penis. I'm not doing that to my child. Okay, so, and I know me saying that is going to piss some people off that see this video. It's my opinion, and I actually do research these things that I'm talking about. Okay. Yeah, beans does have protein and you can eat it. I'm not eating that all my life. I need variety. Okay. I need variety. Okay. Let's see. Some science is intentionally made hard to understand to control how fast people evolve. Yeah, I always hate when people have to make things sound so difficult that's extremely easy to understand if they just said that shit. Like I can understand some of it, but some people can't. It's like you now said a whole long ass sentence with all this and that just to say some basic shit. You know, the deli meats taste fake these days. Yes, it does. And they said that it's causing cancer. Okay. So, I mean, it's nothing. Some stuff you can understand with science, and some stuff people can't grasp it because it's like it's physics and quantum this and that and that. And it just some people just they don't break it down so that they can just understand it very simply. But and they're saying they're doing this on purpose because they know most people don't understand what the hell they're talking about sometimes, so that you can't grasp it and you can't get smarter and evolve. Okay. The ice wall in the Antarctic has a civilization on the other side. I talked about that already. That might be true. That might be true, but we'll never know. The average person will never know. All of the fossils that we have found of dinosaurs are actually dragons, and we just call them dinosaurs. You know, I talked about that movie, Rain of Fire. Rain of Fire, when they were digging and they dug up the dragon. Leave a heart if you think dinosaurs never existed and that it's a conspiracy. It's just made up. I believe they did. I just had this conversation not too long ago. I believe, yeah, lamb does have a little bit of a weird taste to it. Um, Also, turkey meat. I need to try a good turkey burger because the one I had tasted weird. And they're always recalling turkey for having doo doo in it. Okay, so yeah, I believe that the dinosaurs existed. I don't think they all could fly. Some of them could. Some of them could. Hmm. They claim the asteroid wiped them out. It hit the Earth, caused a winter, radiation exposure, a horrible ice age because the sun was blocked out. Plants died, they starved to death. That's what they say happened. Hmm. That's a big topic when it comes to people who are religious. They'll say, well, the Bible didn't mention no doggone dinosaurs. I mean, they probably wouldn't be called dinosaurs anyway. That's a man made term from more recent, the New World. The Old World, the Old Testament, those old days and stuff like that. He probably named it something else or just found their bones and didn't know what they were. Hmm. It's just interesting that why come our news media never shows where this comet hit? You would think that an event like that wiped out what was here, it had to be big. And I'm like, why can't we never see cameramen or the news people going to the site? Like, look, y'all, this was it. Can you believe it? Look how big this shit is. We've never seen it on the news. I just would think they would want to show that. Cerebral, when you eat a bird, that was a dinosaur long ago. Yeah. Turkey sandwiches are gross these days. It ain't no turkey. Mm-mm. They existed, but I can believe the dragon theory too. They would have called them monsters. Dragons exist today. The the Komodo dragon. Islam came out 600 years after Galatians 189 was written. The Bible says the earth is only a few thousand years old. And that's the thing. That's why there's always the war between science and the Bible, because according to science, the earth is millions of years old, not thousands. But when you look at humans, though, like I said, I don't believe we're as old as they say. I can't with what I'm seeing today. Uh, Lizards are reptiles. The Bible is mostly tales. The flood made it look older by different soils. Do you believe that oil is really from dinosaurs? Then again, I heard it's from old plants and fossils and stuff, not just dinosaurs. It's like a buildup of what's under the earth. You know, that probably might run out one day. I don't know for sure. Lord knows a woman did not come from no man's ribs. I don't believe it was about a piece of fruit either. I don't believe that story. I'm sorry. I kind of know what it was, but most people ain't gonna want to believe it if I tell you. Leave a heart if you want me to tell you what I believe it was about. And it ties into what I'm gonna tell y'all in the future. Leave a heart if you want me to tell you what I really think that Adam and Eve story was about. I believe it, well, I don't, if that story was true, I believe it was about sex. It wasn't about fruit, it was about sex. That's why they say original sin. And that's why the whole world is obsessed with women being virgins and not being with a man. She had sex with someone, and there were other people on the planet. That's another lie. They were not the only ones. No. Because when they had Cain and Abel, and then Cain killed Abel, and then he was banished, he said, but the other people will know he was marked. And he said, but other people will see it, they'll know. And then he found a wife out there. So no, it was not just, no, there was other people. What happened, if that story was true, she had sex, and it wasn't with Adam. That's my personal opinion. And I'll explain in the future why I believe that. If it were true, baby, that's what happened, in my opinion. If it were true. Mm-mm-mm. Some people even think the devil. I don't. believe in the devil, but if you do, some people believe that he's a reptilian. That's why he said he was a serpent, because he was a shape shifting reptilian. Some people believe that. I'm not saying it's true. But I noticed that human beings are always trying to pin stuff on the devil for what they choose to do. Oh, the devil made me do it. The enemy. Stop it. You're a whole human with your own brain. You make choices. Some people are into some shit that's not good and sick. It's not because the devil took over you. Some people are just into certain stuff that's not considered normal or appropriate and is fucked up to do to people. When you get angry and you have thoughts of doing stuff, it's because you're pissed off and your mind is pissed off, and you might have to fall back because you're having thoughts you shouldn't have. But it's not because the devil put it in you, it's because you're pissed off and you're expressing that in your thoughts. My opinion. Okay, hold on, let's see. Believe me, what I know is going to be so devastating and shocking that some of y'all might end up institutionalized when I reveal what I know. So I have to put it into words so that everyone understands. That's all I can say. So it's not coming yet, it's in the future. Okay, let's see. I've never seen my neighbors carry in groceries. Leave a heart if you've never seen your neighbor with groceries. I have to admit, I rarely see them with groceries. It's not common. When I think about it, I rarely see my neighbors with groceries ever. I've rarely ever seen it. That's crazy. Just like I've heard people say they've never really seen a pregnant Asian woman. I said, you know what? I've rarely seen one my entire life, an Asian pregnant woman where I live. And I've lived multiple places. I've never really seen them pregnant. Or an Arab woman. I've rarely seen an Indian woman pregnant. They're Asian too, but I don't see it often. But I rarely see pregnant women at all. And they said the population is declining. Tell us in the chat, when was the last time you saw a pregnant woman? 8 to 9 months. When was the last time you saw it? I rarely see it in years. I rarely see it. Guilty angel. She says all the neighbors are NPCs. I will be touching on that too, because that ties into what I believe. Okay. Oh, yesterday I saw 2 pregnant women. I haven't seen a pregnant woman in a long time. Okay, let's see. AI is how we start the advancement of our technology to create the simulation we are living in right now. Let's repeat. AI is how we start the advancement of our technology to create the simulation we're living in. Make it make sense. Make this make sense. If we're in a simulation right now, but we're creating AI right now, that makes no sense. Maybe you'll be able to create another simulation in the future. Mountains are petrified trees. What? People and animals, and the Grand Canyon is a lost city. Big old mountains like Mount Everest are petrified trees? People and animals also there. The giants are mountains and trees. And the Grand Canyon is a lost city. I can believe the Grand Canyon one because the Grand Canyon is cut off in certain parts, and people claimed that they found artifacts, things that look Egyptian, allegedly in the Grand Canyon. I even heard there are some people who live in the Grand Canyon, parts of it. Let's see. Okay. So I don't know. Lee, what do you think? Do you believe that mountains, big old mountains, are just petrified trees and people and animals that gigantic, and that the Grand Canyon is a lost city? Again, I can believe maybe the Grand Canyon one. The Grand Canyon is at the bottom of the ocean. I'm confused. Give us details because the Grand Canyon is empty. There's no water. It used to be water, not no more. Are you saying there's a second Grand Canyon? Or give us more details. Okay. The Grand Canyon, it used to be an ocean. Yeah. Just like the Sahara Desert used to be water. Isn't that crazy? Okay, let's see. Conspiracy. Every electromagnetic device is listening, and there's no way to escape it in this current landscape of life. Coupled with the government having day zero hacks to hack into all these devices remotely, you can physically map out someone's home via Wi Fi. Bluetooth headphones give low doses amounts of radiation for long durations of time, affecting the human brain. The adrenochrome. I know I'm saying that wrong. I can believe it. You know why? Because they have admitted that your TV, they can allegedly listen to you when your TV's off. They can tap into your webcams plugged up. They put it on movies. The technology the government has is over 50 years more advanced than what you see. And they just said just the other day that the new cars in 2027 will have surveillance on them. Even people said their Alexa was saying stuff to them, and people said that they'll look at something on their phone, and then when you turn on your TV, what you were looking at pops up like it's reading your mind. All types of shit. I believe it. I believe it, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it. Remember that movie, The Net, with Sandra Bullock? And how the hackers were able to manipulate people's records and make people think they were sick with stuff, and they weren't even sick. And that was in the 1990s when they came out with that movie. Okay? Those people can post online now. Okay, so I've been doing research on if the Bible is true, especially the stuff in the Old Testament. The Leviathan, the Behemoth, Nephilims, Noah's Ark, and the Great Flood. Okay, they're not saying anything, they're just doing research on it. There's no evidence. It's just one of those things where you have to have blind faith as a Christian and believe whatever they put in there. And you don't have any physical evidence of half of that. I feel like just the scientists need to go see if it's true. I noticed that a lot of religious Christian people don't like truth. They don't like science. They don't like people discovering. They believe you're just supposed to stay in your place, have blind faith. It's insulting to use your brain and question anything. You don't deserve the right to know or discover anything. They'll use that Tower of Babel story as an example as to why humans are supposed to not be great. You're not supposed to go out of space. You can't discover the ocean. You can't know it. Like, why do we have to live like that? Why? because it's considered thinking you're like God and thinking that you're great and you could do something too. And apparently, that's considered insulting and sinful for you to believe that you could be great as well. I mean, I can see if you're hurting somebody or you're doing something weird, like trying to change human DNA or some shit, like hybrid alien type shit. Yeah, that's a issue. But just wanting to go to another planet or wanting to see the ocean and stuff, I don't see why that is a bad thing at all. You know, I mean, you have to be careful. But as far as the Leviathan, I would love to see the Leviathan. I would be scared too because they claim that thing is humongous, bigger than the United States. The Behemoth, I have no idea if that exists. Nephilims, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't believe that human women gave birth to 50-pound babies. Um, Noah's Ark, there's no evidence of that happening, but I'm 50-50 on it because we do know that the ocean used to be humongous. We know that water used to be as high as Mount Everest, and that's a fact that water was extremely high at one point. Did it happen from a great flood or some sort of catastrophe? I wasn't alive to know. But we know it was that high. That's true. So, um, hmm, hmm, hmm. Maybe one day we'll know the truth. I don't know. I'm just one of those people where if I don't have evidence, I cannot say I agree 100% just because someone is telling me that. I'm not sinful or a demon because I use my brain and I don't have to believe every story that people say. Give me some proof and then I can believe it. Some stuff, a little bit, but you don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. I don't know if the Leviathan is true, but it's not hard to believe there's something gigantic down there. There's no way the ocean is that big and there ain't nothing down there. Some probably is down there. I just don't know for sure. Oh, thank you, Guilty Angel. Um, I mean, they claim there were different types of things on Earth. Things go extinct. They even claim the polar bear might go extinct, which I hope doesn't happen, but that's because of humans. I believe the government does have some of this stuff that people might want to know about underground and locked up. I even think they might be cloning stuff and trying to bring it back, underground stuff and experiments and stuff, but we don't know for sure. My thing is though, we've seen it in the movies, splicing, cloning, you bring something back that you don't know what you're dealing with, you put us in danger on the earth. If you bring some dormant virus from thousands of years ago back to look at it, but you don't know that it wiped out humanity, and you don't have a cure for it because you don't know what you're dealing with. So I'm not against knowledge and finding out stuff, but you do have to use your scientific brain on some stuff. I think of that movie Resident Evil, how they were experimenting with all that stuff and then released it and shit got out of hand. That movie I Am Legend with Will Smith, they thought they found the cure for cancer, ended up changing humans into some damn zombie type stuff. Even now, they was promoting Ozempic. Now what do you see? People said that they went blind, have stomach paralysis, all types of shit from taking Ozempic. They be releasing stuff to see what's going to happen. and don't even know all the side effects sometimes. Sometimes they do. Okay. The Titanic was sunk on purpose. I have heard this, and that just sounds insane to me. 1912, someone went and sunk the Titanic. How the hell did that happen? From what we know in history, the Titanic hit a humongous iceberg and the ship sunk. But there are people who really believe that someone sunk it on purpose. I think someone said for insurance money or something. I'm finding it hard to believe, but you know what? They say shit you just can't believe sometimes is true, and that would blow your mind. So I believe it. I don't believe the Titanic was sunk on purpose. I just can't believe that one. I, okay, and God rest the soul of those people, but I don't believe that some ship was waiting for them with a cannonball or something and sunk the Titanic. I just don't. Plus, there are people who did survive it, and none of them said that they saw a ship or something, unless, I don't know. We don't hear those stories. Okay, let's see. If you think Dolly the sheep was the first clone, you'd be surely mistaken. Look up all of it, the humansy. Oh, I definitely believe they've been cloning. They just told the public when that happened. You remember that movie called The Island? You need to check that movie out called The Island. They were literally holding clones in a facility who didn't even know they were clones. And when wealthy sports people and rich people needed a heart or a kidney, they would murk the people, the clones, and give them what they needed. They didn't even know that they were clones. They didn't even know. Okay. The Titanic was an insurance job. The last living survivor who was actually on the boat at the time said there was help not far away, but nobody came. What? But it was a banker on the Titanic that was going to prevent the Federal Reserve from happening. Oh my. They said that it was a lot of wealthy black European and Moors on the Titanic, and they took all their businesses and companies from them. I don't know. I only heard of one black man who was not American who was on the ship. He had a white wife and children. Um, I only know one black man who was on that boat, but it could be true. I mean, Moors don't identify as being black, even though a lot of them were and being mixed and stuff. Okay, notice that mostly Americans believe these things. That's what they're doing with the meat. They're cloning it. Please don't tell me that. I mean, sometimes I'll be thinking it, but I'm like, I gotta eat. I'm just, please, please don't tell me. Don't say it, please. I said, well, it didn't kill me yet, but please, no. I miss when food really tastes like food. Everything has gone to shit. Gen Z and Alpha don't even know what real food tastes like. They ain't grow up on no real food. Lord help. I just can't take it. What's your opinion on time travel? I believe it. I believe in time travel. I believe in time travel. I believe those movies we saw, like Stargate and Time Cop, it's real. And I always notice the common theme. It's always a circle of water because water is a conductor and it's like a mirror. You can create a wormhole or a black hole. You notice how if you move your hands really quickly, it looks like you have multiple hands. It's like that. If you speed up the electrons and neutrons in opposite directions extremely fast, you can open up an energy field. This just came to my mind. I don't even know if I'm right. That's just what my mind is telling me. You move them like a battery, opposite directions in a circle very quickly. The energy field will build up, and the water is like the conductor. and it's the portal. Thank you. Thank you, Gregory. Um, I don't know though. Only recently I have a video coming up about time travel. Uh, I don't know, because remember in Terminator how she said, "Hey Yolanda, remember how she said the future hasn't been set?" Because look, every day is the present, yesterday was the past, tomorrow is the future. Everything changes, every decision, everything you do changes a possible outcome every single day. But then again, they say the future is already set. That's how, look, I'm telling you the video. The video is about the aliens supposedly from the future. They're traveling allegedly back in time to warn humans, but if you watch the Terminator, that's not possible. They wouldn't exist if the event doesn't happen that's going to make that happen. It can't be stopped. I don't believe it. I believe whatever is supposed to happen is going to play out no matter what you do. It's just most of it. Most of it. So, I mean, in the movies, I always see that they say that they can't travel to the past and change it. I don't know. There ain't no way I want to go to the past. Hell no. Y'all know. Come on now. But I wouldn't mind seeing the future. If I could see the United States in 100 to 200 years from now, I wouldn't mind seeing how this country looks. Like, oh my God. Name the year you would want to travel to if you could time travel. And the thing is, I'm not against going to the past, but if you get stuck, hell no. If you get stuck, baby. Okay. To see you at 20s or the 2000s or 20s. Give me a year, y'all. Name a year you want to go to see. You know, some say, again, that some sort of event is going to be happening, catastrophic, and that's why the billionaires are in the bunkers or building the bunkers because they already know what's coming to prepare. You never know. You never know. 2004? You want to go to 2004? Gregory, why do you want to go to 2004? Tell me about that year that you want to go back there because that wasn't that long ago. I remember that time like it was yesterday. 2000, 2080, 1990. I would tell my mom to buy a house now. Yeah, yeah, I could see going back in the past to warn or try to just change certain stuff. If I would go back in the past and have the same mind and remember everything right now that I do, I would want to go back to the year. I think I would want to go back to 1995 and remember everything, and I literally am the same person. I think 1995. 2050, I can tell myself to invest this Navita. I don't have my glasses on. The 1920s could be interesting. Child. I ain't going to no time when racism was off the chain. I had some lottery money. Oh, okay. I had one. Oh my God. Okay. Okay. The Nickelodeon logo is Epstein Island, And it's true. I actually saw that, and it is true. Gregory says he was 16 in 1995. I would like to see the 90s as an adult. 1920. 1975. No rap music, stronger community. Music was the best. I don't think the community was that strong ever in Hinton, no. But it wasn't as bad as what you see today. That's true. Mr. Universe, why would you want to go in the 1800s during slavery? And if you ended up in slavery and you try to warn them and help them, they would tell on you. And you probably will get done in. From child. Okay. Cameras are in the birds. And then I found one window cleaner here. She says she's a window cleaner and says that cameras are in the birds. Baby, they had that on that show called Paradise. Paradise is the greatest show, one of the greatest shows I've ever seen in my life. Season 1, episode 6 or 7, called The Day. The first episode in episode 7 on Hulu, baby, and that was in Paradise when they had the underground bunker that looked like Earth. It looked just like this. The ducks in the water that was floating were actually cameras. It's it's very possible. The time travel doesn't have to be America. That's true. Oh, I was saying I'd rather go back before slavery. The world was terrible. People could barely eat. The food was, no, life was too hard. I need to be somewhere where there's technology and advancement. The old times was too hard, especially for a woman. There was no pads and tampons available. I'm good on going back to those times. No, I don't want to. Hard to find food. Half the stuff you love today didn't even exist then. Okay. They're building an AI army bot to use against people. Oh yeah, baby. To manipulate people on the internet, fake accounts and stuff, trying to rile you up and start stuff with people. I'm telling you, the AI is getting so good. I've been fooled twice thinking it was real people and it wasn't. So you really have to be real careful about everything that you believe that you see online, because it's getting hard to tell the difference between reality sometimes. Okay. America is the Holy Land. I've seen proof, lots of proof. I'm skeptical, but it makes sense when you see proof with your own eyes. I hate when people say stuff like this, but they can't tell us what. I mean, America is the Holy Land. I don't believe that, and there's no evidence of that. She says she has the proof. She needs to present the proof of what she's talking about. I don't believe that. The lottery was invented to catch time travelers. I've never heard this before. The lottery, the Mega Million, the Powerball, the Pick 3, the Pick 4, was invented to catch time travelers. I need this person to go more in detail. Could somebody in the chat tell me what you think about that? What do you think this person is trying to really say? Like, give us more detail of what you think this really means. The lottery was invented to catch. Oh, I understand. I guess he's saying that everybody who wins the big lottery or time travelers who knew the numbers and played them and won. But I don't believe that. I would travel back in time of Mansa Musa, so I would find that gold mine and do trade deals. Mansa Musa had slaves. Mansa Musa had slaves. If anything, if I were to decide to go to Africa, I would tell them exactly how their future is going to play out if they participate in slavery. I'm going to tell them exactly how this is going to go down and what's going to happen to them and people who descend from them, what's going to happen, and tell them it's going to be the worst mistake you ever make in your fucking life. Because I really feel that way right now. It's the greatest mistake. I don't even know how to call it a mistake. It's the most treacherous, dumbass shit they ever did. They completely fucked up the entire black race globally behind that shit. My opinion. I don't hear many black people who say that, but I feel that way. What the Africans did, and I'm not saying some of them were not kidnapped, because some were, but a number of them participated, and it's like you fucked up the entire fucking race on a global scale that can't even be recovered at large. It's just like what the fuck were you thinking? But then again, they have slavery still as I speak. So it's like I guess that's how God wanted it for them, what they was doing. Even though some of them were kidnapped, but you were done dirty by your own, who was greedy and evil, and they didn't even win. You didn't even get nothing for it, but be put at the bottom of the global society. And your descendants everywhere, no matter where they are, is fucked up because what your I ain't even gonna get into it. I just can't. Lord, I can't. But if I were to, I would tell them exactly what happens. Said they wouldn't probably believe it. They wouldn't listen. But I would tell them. I would tell some too the future to show them what happens. But you can't show them. Once you end up there, as far as they know, you're just some random man who showed up. But they do believe in witch doctors and shit, so you could pretend to be one of them and say, I have a prophecy. I saw it all. These white men in the ships are going to show up. Put on. They're going to show up. Great the ships. And then once the ships come, they're like, oh my God, he's telling the truth. If that didn't happen, Cerebral, I don't want to laugh at you saying that. You try to laugh. I'll be over there carrying a basket on my head. I know it would be horrible. I am not supposed to say that, but it would. I don't want to live up over there in most of the parts I've seen. Hell no. I mean, it ain't all horrible, but a lot of it is. So, uh, shit. Be forced to marry some man I don't want, mutilating my vagina, making me eat foo-foo. I don't like foo-foo. I tried it. It's not that much. And no access to good health care or pads or tampons and stuff. I can't, no. Even though I'm not only African, but that is my ancestry. It's true. The whole story of what happened here, we know what happened. So, and I ain't trying to be mean because I'm open to eating different types of food. I have tried some good jollof rice before, and that shit was good. Okay. Fufu is okay. It's like mashed potatoes. I do like mashed potatoes, but it doesn't taste like mashed potatoes, but the texture is like a big old glob of dough. And then you have like a stew and stuff, and then you dip it in there and eat it with that. I mean, it's okay. I didn't really like the texture. It was all right. I'm open to trying it again since I only had it one time. I did have some good ass rice though. But I'm scared now because this whole delineation, FBA versus the African war, I don't want to step up in there and they put some shit up in my food. So, hi, Jessica. Okay, let's see. Pinocchio was from Disney. Okay. There is no hope for Africa. Keep it real. No, not really. Here's the thing, people keep trying to paint a picture like Africa was united. I heard about how the South Africans are currently going upside the head of Nigerians, literally beating the shit out of them for being in their country. And the Ghanaians also are trying to kick Nigerians out currently in their country. And everybody's in shock. But y'all are African. When you go to India, do all Indians get along? Is all Indians the same? No. There, there ain't no time in history all of Africa been united ever. So I don't. People need to stop trying to paint some picture like they're one racial group that like each other or that all look the same. They're not. They're very tribal. You would think that with all the shit that's happened to them, I know that's like what's wrong with, like, do you see where you're at on the world and that all these groups don't like you and want to get rid of you and take over you, colonize you, enslave you, and you participate and now you don't run nothing? Don't you see what's going to happen to you? Like, get some fucking sense and let that shit go. Get one universal language. Well, your language, they need to have English as the main language throughout all of Africa, plus their native language. They have 54 different countries in Africa. They're not united under one country like the United States. They have different religious beliefs. They have different customs. Don't get me started on that vagina mutilation shit and all types of stuff. So, not only that, but most non-black people rule them, their companies and their land. It's pretty much halfway over for them. Because when you look at parts of Africa, white Dutch people in South Africa took them over. Yeah, they advanced their country. Let's be real here, they did build it to make it advanced. But the history is disgusting. I don't know how on earth you're the majority and you let this happen to you. It's just critical. But anyway, then you have Angola, which was already colonized. The only place that ain't been colonized really is Ethiopia that people know of. Most of I mean, no. Africa will be like the US one day. But when that happens, it's not going to be ruled by black African men. Because women don't get to have power there. The men rule. Their black male African leaders suck at large, and that's why they're in the position that they're in. I don't care who gets mad, it's just the truth. They have excuses for it every year. I'm not going to say what I want to say because I ain't supposed to say it, but I'm going to tell you this. They fight each other. They have civil wars. When I see parts of Africa fighting, I just be thinking, you mean to tell me y'all have dirty water nothing to eat barely with flies on your face, famines, no health care, and y'all are fighting? What exactly are you fighting over? You would think that y'all would be coming together to advance your countries. But they fight each other still, and they kill their women with machetes and great babies. And believe in dumb shit. Witch doctor shit. All this stupid shit. And you supposedly the oldest race on Earth, allegedly. Something ain't adding up here. Something ain't adding up. I know I ain't supposed to say that. Something ain't adding up. I don't think it's weird to... It's not weird they have different cultures and ethnicities or races, as they say, because that's true. But people think, well, damn, the largest group enslaved in history. Other groups come over and take over the black continent. You would think they would say, damn, we're fucked. Like, we're really fucked if we don't get this shit together. Like, let's fuck it. We're going to have to forgive certain stuff in wars, and let's unite the United Countries of Africa. And we're going to get one language that we're going to add that we all can speak. It should be English so we can communicate with the Americans since we're a superpower. And that's the universal language that most people speak. Let's all learn that. We're going to get rid of some of these dumbass traditions that ain't do shit but regress us. And we're going to get advanced because this shit don't make no sense, baby. You would think that's what they would do. They hate women, half of them. They treat their women like shit. A good portion of them. Another reason they fucking cursed. But they not the only ones, to be fair. Them African women be wanting to escape. I understand if you watching this. I understand. I don't blame you from the stuff I be hearing about. And you can miss me. We're just a peace-loving people. And that's why your ass been enslaved by everybody. That's why your ass been enslaved by everybody. You can be nice, but and I look at the men. African women don't run Africa. It's a patriarchy. So when I talk about Africa, I'm not talking about the women. Because they don't run shit at large. They're like cattle over there, half of them. Like, you can go around preaching that you're God's people and peace-loving people. So every time someone foreign comes to your shit, you gonna let them keep fucking with you and enslaving you? That's a you problem. Go get some strength and some sense. Because they don't make no damn sense how much you've been fucked over. At this point, I'm looking at you. It ain't the other people. There's something wrong with you because y'all the majority up over there. Kings and queens and strong, but everybody can enslave you. No, I don't think so. Whatever y'all problem is, y'all need to figure that out. And I know what it is. And y'all need to fix it. Shit, y'all ain't willing to go to war. That's y'all problem. Now, y'all kill each other. Yeah, y'all kill each other's asses up, but you ain't really ready to go to war with other groups that's not African that be trying to fuck with you. Yeah, not really. That's why your ass is in the position that you're in. The white man will fight to the death, baby. And that's just a fact. You ain't taking his shit. If you are, he gonna fight you. And protect his women and children and his legacy. Shit, that shit in South Africa never made no damn sense to me. That's some crazy shit, in my opinion. But everybody's always trying to make excuses for them instead of looking at it for what it is. I mean, Africa is big as shit. You're not going to sit up here and tell me that damn near all of it, not other races of men took over, and they did. No, something wrong with the men up over there. And I said what the fuck I said, get mad about it. I'm trying to calm down. I'm not one of them black women that's gonna lie to your ass and appease your ego and talk about that king shit. Must be that's why I can't they couldn't they wouldn't want me up over there. I couldn't have power because I would be telling them what I just said. And then they'll try to assassinate me because they can't bear to hear a woman say it. You say that, but they were conquered by weapons of war at the time when they were still using skin shields and spears. One thing I know is that men can kill other men by hand. African men outnumbered white men. They outnumbered them. They also were killing their own people. It's the same shit you see today. Shit, even in America. Black men always killing black men. It's the same shit. It's something wrong with them in the mind. I'm sorry. This is some ancient shit with them. That's why they're in the position that they're in. I want peace on earth. But all that, we're just a loving group. It's good to be loving with bitch when you trying to enslave me and my motherfucking women and kids, bitch, you got to die. It's time to fight. You ain't coming up over here with that shit. And that's what you saw in that movie 300. When that man came up to Gerard Butler and he knew that he was going to try to enslave him and his women and rape his women. And he said, this is Sparta. And then he kicked his ass down that shit. It's like, no, baby, we ain't having that up in here. I'm a leader. I'm intelligent. I know what you're trying to do. We see it. It's time to go. You ain't taking us over. And realistically, it's not shocking if some parts of Africa got taken over. It happens, but it's damn near all of it. I'm sorry, I just can't. I can't. It's some crazy shit to me. But even if other groups ain't there, they fight each other. They kill their women and rape their women and children and the men. They believe in dumb shit that should have been done away with hundreds of years ago. They need help, but they don't want help, a lot of them. Especially not from a woman. They're not going to listen to no woman. It's just not going to happen. Intelligent women are hated on a global scale. They think that we're anti-men. I don't give a fuck about the feminist label. Who gives a fuck what that is? Standing up for women to be treated correctly and not to be raped and for the world to be good. If that makes me a feminist, I don't give a fuck. Men, I just can't. If men really love women like they say they do, which most of them don't, they would have been handling business to take care of us and make sure that we're safe on the planet and our children. They would have been taking out men who have caused harm and pain on the planet through the law. Men are supposed to, I don't have a problem with men leading. I'm a woman. I want to sip on my tea or my lemonade and be my girly self. I want my man, my masculine man. The thing is though, is that a lot of men have become weak. They don't want to challenge bad men. They don't want to fight them and restore order and peace. They'll even say, well, if it ain't my wife and child, I don't give a damn. but they only care when their wife and daughter or son is raped. Now you give a fuck, bitch. Let me calm down, sorry. But yet women are always having sympathy for men, complaining and whining about feminism. Last time I checked, you still rule the earth, mate, baby. And look at the state of it under your leadership. And I know we ain't gonna never see justice for grape because you men rule the earth and you're the ones graping us. Of course not. That's why they don't want us to be president. Because they know. And not every woman could do a good job, but some of us could. They're afraid for the chickens to come home to roost on them for things that they do to women and children. I also am against the grape of men because that's disgusting too. When I hear about men getting raped, oh, it's horrible. People don't care about men being raped. It's all horrible. Taco Bell doesn't use real meat. That's probably true. Some of it does look like dog meat or something. I rarely eat Taco Bell. We have a time machine. It works off the electromagnetic radiation. It's in the CIA archives. Oh, Gregory says there was a woman in power, the Queen of England. But she's no longer here. I don't know under her reign if the country was better. I don't know for sure. I know what's going on now is off the chain up over there. Do we have a time machine? We might have a time machine. I believe in time travel. I think it's possible. The US government keeps pushing unethical events to test how long it would take for the nation to overthrow them, to see what you will put up with. It's an experiment to define who is most powerful, the government or the people. I believe that. And I'm sorry to say, most people are not going to stand up to the government. Not like the Tea Party back in the old days. Remember the Boston Tea Party? Um, no, I don't see it. I see people talk about it all the time. Let's not go to work. Let's not do this. Let's do people do have marches and protests, but it's not on a grand, it's not millions of people doing it. I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I just don't. Even though I will say there have been thousands of people marching and protesting against them trying to build data centers. But guess what? They're still doing it anyway. Even though a lot of the towns protested and said, we don't want it here, they don't have the money or the power, and they're still building it anyway. Then you bring up, Luigi, what he did, you might end up seeing more of that in the future. I don't know, but you might. The UK government is in charge. Parliament. Everybody human ain't no royalty over me. The money class is controlled. They would attack each other. People talk, some act. The latter is less common. It's a club. Very true. Park rangers are there to keep creatures in the parks from going public. I have never heard this before. Baby, the stuff I hear is possible. Missing 411, those national parks. The park rangers are actually keeping the monsters from coming out in the public. Do you believe this? The 300 Club. I've never heard of that before. Maybe I have, but I don't remember. But I know what you're talking about, though. The elite clubs and all this crazy stuff we be hearing about. It's possible. It's possible the park rangers are actually government officials, like the X Files type of stuff, working there. No one was in there. Leave a heart. If you would walk out your house right now at night and just walk to see what you see. They say it's a different world at nighttime. They say the vampires, the werewolves, the shapeshifters, the government, all of them are out at night. Remember, I don't know, if you saw Soylent Green, who knows, maybe you go walking out at night and you see a facility doing something and you walk up in there to spy. And what do you find? Human bodies being processed. Who knows what's happening outside right now? There's some shit going on we don't know nothing about at nighttime. Ain't no woman going out at night. But any men watching me, you're a man, y'all rule the world. Are you going to go outside your house and just walk outside? And when I say walk, I'm not saying down the block. I mean literally, you don't even know where you walking to. Walking like a mile or two. There are several YouTube channels that discuss what he's saying about that, the park rangers. I got out at night often. Let's see, I'm not going out. Hell no. The weird stuff happens in the woods. Can you imagine what's in the woods? Leave a heart if you would go in a cemetery right now. Are you willing to walk in a cemetery? I don't know if y'all saw that movie Pet Cemetery. Hell no. Thank you. End times, new beginning. No late night cemetery walks for me. You know what? God knows what's in the cemetery. Okay. Apparently, the moon landing was fake. I have heard this repeatedly. I used to say to myself, why would the government want to make you believe that they went to the moon? But then later in life, I said, yeah, if it was fake, to give you hope that we could travel and do all this stuff. People say, why didn't they go back? Some say that when they went there was aliens on it. Others say there was a base on the dark side of the moon. Others say, baby, we can't even get to the moon because there's a firmament and we can't even get out this damn planet. What is the truth? Maybe they wanted you to believe that so they could speed up with the technology they've been working on, knowing they couldn't get to the moon. Maybe, I don't know. It was faked. Can I collect goofer dust from the worst New Orleans cemetery? I will never go to a New Orleans cemetery. They don't even bury them underground. They're up top. Hell no. I don't know if we went to the moon. I don't know if we can really leave Earth or not. I'll never know because I can't fly up there. I don't know if the space station is real or not. But I would wonder why come they didn't go back. That is strange. I mean, that happened what, 1960 or something? That's a long time ago. Why not go back? Like, okay, we went, but why not go back? No flag waving on the moon. There's no oxygen. It's cold. Space is fake. So what's up there then? You see the moon, you see stars, you feel the sun. I think people say it's a firmament because astronauts only show in the Earth's atmosphere the edge of space. They have moon rocks, and the Artemis mission just landed recently. I don't think that we're confined to Earth. It's just one of those things where the average person doesn't know because we can't get up there. So it's just something you just don't know. Mm, I don't know. I don't believe in things I can't prove. I can think it might be true. I might believe it, maybe a little, but if I don't know for sure and I haven't seen it, I can't go along with it. How is space fake? You clearly see darkness with things up there. I think we're in a zoo like environment. Child. We experience the Mandela effects because we're already unalive. Here we go. We're already not alive. That's why you experience the Mandela. Let me put this in Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is a psychological phenomenon where a large group of people share a collective false memory of an event, detail, or cultural icon. Coined in 2009, it stems from many people mistakenly recalling that Nelson Mandela died in prison in the 1980s. So it's called the Mandela effect because a lot of people said they swore to God that Nelson Mandela died in jail, and that wasn't him. The Mandela effect, again, is when all of us believe we saw something, a false memory of an event. I don't believe I'm experiencing a Mandela effect. We all remember 9/11. Do you remember 9/11? That was not a figment. I ain't gonna say too much. Allegedly, that's not a figment of our imagination. Richard Simmons and that headband. The Matrix Zoo is what we're in. Remember that interracial couple who were the first alien abductees, yet Betty and Barney Hill, when they said that alien came from Zeta Reticulus, and they later did discover Zeta Reticulus allegedly, where the grays are and stuff. But now they're claiming the grays are us from the future. So that whole story now changed up. I hung out with a Russian friend of mine. They're very open to aliens and the paranormal and the things we're discussing. It shows the moon reflection on the phone and the second moon reflection too. and the other objects next to the moon don't show too. Yes, 9/11 did happen. I just find it weird that they don't talk about 9/11. Like, that's the worst event we ever saw in our life here. And that they don't even talk about it. That's crazy to me. That and Hurricane Katrina. Okay. I have one more to show you. The cavemen were original to the earth, and we destroyed our planet Mars, and we are the aliens. Hmm. I have heard that we're aliens many times before, that we're not natural to the earth. The cavemen were original to the earth. Well, according to science, black Africans are the original people of the earth, not from a different planet. Cavemen, I don't even know, but some people do believe that humans in general were not from here. There's no evidence. Some people think that an asteroid hit Earth and we're the things that came out of it, and that we were actually in the water first before we ended up evolving to land. I've heard that before too. The UFO that landed midday in Russia at a park happened. I didn't hear about that. We were genetically modified. That's a possibility. And there's a cover up about it. There's a cover up going on regarding that information. All the rappers sold their soul. Some people include, but are not limited to X, Lil Wayne, Nas, and Jay-Z. My version of selling a soul is not the same as some of the other people. Like, I don't believe they met the devil and signed blood contracts. To me, when you sell your soul, it just means that you give up your morality. You'll do anything to be in the group. You'll let them gang grape you up the butt, eat a baby, eat doo-doo, whatever they say. It can be anything they want. And they say, if you want this contract, if you want this money, you want us to promote you, this is what we do. You don't have to believe in what they believe in, but they said, if you don't do what we believe in to be in this group, then you're not going to be in it. So selling a soul doesn't mean that you literally have some magic smoke around and do a ritual and all that other shit. It's literally doing whatever they tell you to. That goes against what's considered right and moral. Three Six Mafia. They literally call themselves 3-6 Mafia, 666. Confirm they were playing with dark forces. Well, let's see. I don't believe in something collecting your soul type of thing, like, oh, you want this, I have your soul. No, I don't believe it in the way that people be saying it, but I do believe that there are people in groups who have money and power who believe in some weird ass stupid shit, but it's what they believe in. And they tell these people, either you gonna do it or you not, and you ain't gonna be in the group, and you ain't gonna get paid this money. So you gonna do it or not? Give me your booty, suck it, do all this stuff, eat doo doo, whatever it is. Younger Dre's hypothesis: something instigated a great flood 12,000 years ago. All major religions founded around that time. No settlements is older. Something instigated the flood. I don't recall the flood being 12,000 years ago. As far as what we know, Christianity is only 2,000 years old, not 12,000. Islam is like 1,600 years old. Let's just say 2,000 for all of it at large. 2,000. The flood happened, they're saying 12,000 years ago. And they said the religions were founded at that time. That those dates don't add up. So no, I don't believe that. Because Christianity, actually, hold on, let me put in this. Hold on. How old is Christianity? Christianity is approximately 2,000 years old. What were they believing before Christianity? All types of stuff. All types of stuff. Antarctica caused the Great Flood. Earth is flat, y'all. How did Antarctica cause the flood? Was it a gigantic sheet of ice that fell? Like, let us know. People that have abruptly gone missing without a trace and never found are dreamers from another universe, and they simply woke up. You yourself may be considered missing from whatever universe you were dreaming in and have loved ones searching for you. I've never heard that. Sorry if I keep repeating it. It's just I want to analyze what's being said, and you need to hear it again because this is the last one. People who go missing out the blue, no trace, never found, are dreamers from another universe. So I'm seeing someone that exists somewhere else, and they simply woke up. You may be a missing person from whatever universe you were dreaming in. So basically, you might be not from Earth, and you're missing, and the people from where you come from are looking for you. And I guess you're on planet Earth walking around looking real, but you're dreaming or you're not really from here. I've never heard that one before. That's crazy. Oh, thank you. My glasses. Mr. DMC. Thank you. I've never heard that before. I can't imagine being from a different planet. Not really. I don't know what I would look like there and what I was doing up over there. So I will have another one in the near future. I didn't even put all of them up on here today. Matter of fact, hold on. So some of these I do believe in. Some of these I do. Some of them sounded a little crazy. But in this world, there have been a couple of things that people thought was bullshit and crazy, and people will call it crazy conspiracy theorists, and now people are like, oh my God, you were right. Oh my God, this makes sense. Oh my God, it's all coming together. It might be really true. You know, um, It might be, it might not be. So some of them again were interesting. Some of them just can't be proven. It's just beliefs that some stuff, I mean, you just will never really know. You don't have the technology, or we can't fly up in the air to know if we can get out of Earth or not. So it's just one of those things. I don't even bother with that conversation because it's like I can't get up there. So I don't know. I did hear about the radiation belt or something, like it's just that would fry you before you even get up out of Earth. So I don't know. I don't know if there are. I believe the inner Earth thing could be true. I think there could be people down there in the inner Earth. They might not be alien. They could be just early humans that went down there and evolved down there. Very possible. The Arctic, is there people, land beyond the Arctic, not ice, but actual land with people? Maybe. But if that's true, why is the government trying to hide it so hard that it could be people up over there? Maybe they evolve differently. Maybe they're hostile. Maybe they have greater technology. Who knows for sure? But if they did, why haven't they flown over here yet? So I don't, maybe they have and we don't know about it. Again, they do have that treaty that you cannot go over there. And that lets you know that something is up. What it is, again, I don't know. So, um, I mentioned the moon stuff because it would reflect the firmament. Yeah, I just don't know. There's definitely more to reality than what we know, you know. Do you believe that there are werewolves around and creatures living in your neighborhood and shit? Like, do you think that's true? There are science stations in Antarctica. I think again, when they announced that there was an ocean under the ocean, bigger than our oceans, I knew without them saying it that they knew that for a long time. They just finally told the public. But why did they finally tell the public is what I want to know. Out of all the time y'all knew, why did you think that you finally going to tell the public you found it? Because things just don't get revealed just to be revealed. There's a plan, a process. They're just not going to tell you stuff. Like even with the such and such files, when have we ever known for them to publicly release something like that with powerful people and pictures? We ain't never seen nothing like that in our life. It's something's up with it. They just don't give you information for free. Not really big stuff. And no, 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 no. It's always more to the story. And it's usually something that your brain would have even imagined. All right, so look, y'all, that is it. This was really fun. And again, this will probably be uploaded again under my main video. So please don't say, but you already did this video. No one really sees these videos, these lives, and I want more people to see this. So it will be uploaded later during the week or next week. Okay? So that is it. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you want to support the channel, my Cash App is there. Thank you so much. If you have any topics you want me to talk about, um, I didn't put my email. I'll put my email later on, in the description box. Okay, everybody. So I'll talk to you all later. Bye, everybody. Bye.